A movie dedicated to one gunfight in an abandoned factory is a movie which is certainly brave. Free Fire from 2016 attempts to show us an arms deal gone bad in almost real time. 10 people all cross paths and partake in possibly the biggest moment of their lives. Relying on the charisma of the cast and the wry wit of the dialogue.
I'm just saying, my ancestors probably ate raw onions and fucked goats, so...
Don't do it that advanced.
To get us all ready for this single evening. Yeah, I'd definitely at least try a movie like that, especially considering its competition at the time it was released in the States was the ironically named Unforgettable and a documentary about pandas. And yet, Free Fire bombed at the box office, and I'm frankly baffled. It's an interesting movie with really good writing and a cast game to make the premise work. The presentation's pretty good too. The score is pretty tastefully foreboding while still rocking that nice 70s vibe. I do think the film is a little bit too slowly paced for me personally, but I could imagine someone watching this and thinking it's excellent. For me, it's all about that first act though. So here's what I'm gonna do. The title of the movie spoils it's a gunfight heavy film, so I didn't feel the need to really warn about that. But the scene I'm gonna talk about is the scene where the first bullet is fired and the context surrounding it. Believe me, this film pulls off plenty of reveals despite being basically one long scene. It's actually quite impressive. This scene is not the only reason to watch Free Fire. You should at least try it if this video makes you curious. After all, that's the point of this series. Pique your curiosity about a movie you probably didn't see in the hopes you stumble across one of your new favourite films. Or at the very least, a fun afternoon with a good film. And with that disclaimer out of the way, it's time to discuss that one scene in Free Fire. The introductions have been made, negotiations closed, all in spite of this group, not because of them. To say they haven't exactly been gelling is an understatement. Chris and Frank are the cynical straight men, just looking for guns to fund their political war. Michael Smiley in particular does an excellent job of portraying the old, time-hardened Irish gangster. He's a joy to watch, especially when he plays off Cillian Murphy's brilliantly dry delivery. We've already been introduced to Steve and Bernie, as well as some interesting context relating to the events that led them to this moment. You see, we opened the film with Steve-O and Howie talking about the night before. Steve-O got attacked by some guy in a club. What we know about his character is that he probably had it coming, but to what extent, we don't really know. Yet. Armie Hammer slimes it up as the unpleasant, over-polished hired help Ord. Brie Larson as Justine, the cynical girl boss who organised this meeting, Sharlto Copley as the eccentric sleazebag Vern, and Babu Cisse's eye-rolling, let's just get paid accomplice Martin make up the other team. At least, at first. Grunt workers Harry and Gordon also make an appearance in a way similar to the opening scene. Steve-O's inherent baggage of being, a drug-addled lunatic is starting to grate. Particularly on Frank, who is taking himself super seriously this whole time. But there's one specific piece of context that serves as the sword of Damocles for the primary conflict. Just dangling over, waiting for the exact right moment to strike. As I say, I'm trying not to spoil the dialogue because that's the ultimate selling point for the first act, but trust me, finding all this stuff out is a lot more interesting and fun than I'm making it sound here. Steve-O desperately tries to go unnoticed, but once he and Harry lock eyes...
Trust not your thing, eh?
Son of a fucking... What the fuck?
Nothing to break the already uneasy alliance yet, but certainly this is not going as smoothly as any of these guys were hoping for. The pressure is seriously building, but nobody wants to be the first to fire. Once the two are separated, the horrific moment from the night before is revealed.
That fucking junkie came on to my cousin last night at the Harlequins. And when she wouldn't suck his fucking dick, he bottled her. She's scarred, man. Permanently, and she's 17.
Even cucumber cool Chris is shook by what happened, and immediately gives Steve-O a stern reprimand. And then Frank joins it. Most of the group are sympathetic towards Harry, but some more than others. The truth is, all anyone wants is for this deal to be done and for this night to be over. But Steve-O, being, see above, has one last thing to say on the matter when he is told to apologize.
I'm real sorry. Because I came so hard in your cousin's mouth. I think I knocked some of her rotten fucking teeth out! Pick them out of her fucking stools at the fucking hospital!
Those words effectively seal the whole group's fate for that evening. The words spoken, the emotion felt, It's all been slowly boiling until the point of no return, for someone to cross the line of this already tension-filled deal and have it completely break down.
Hey!
Behave yourself, all right?
No, Harry,
Suck on this.
Even the soundtrack in this moment is brilliant. It's a melancholic expression of the inevitability of the situation. They might not know who or how many, but these characters know that lives will be lost tonight. These two linked like the dark side version of star-crossed lovers, bound by their hatred for each other to doom those around them to their suffering. I wanted to call them star-crossed haters, but that paragraph felt a little serious and I thought it would ruin the mood. The rest of the film is the aftermath of this one moment. If you watch the movie up to this point and you genuinely don't care who makes it out alive and you stop watching, then, you know, at least you got some fun dialogue, some great direction, and an open ending to decide your own headcanon. But if you are at least a little curious to see what happens, in my opinion, you might as well see how this movie ends. It's not a perfect movie. None of the movies in this series are really, but it's certainly worth your time to check out. I have this phrase that I try and stick to when I talk about movies online. Every movie is someone's favorite movie. And you never know, this one could be yours.